Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Martha Konstandinidis and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. Positive COVID cases have continued to increase as the CDC is now considering 11 of Massachusetts' 14 counties as having high community transmission levels. According to the CDC, Bristol, Hampshire, and Hampden counties were the only Massachusetts counties considered to have medium community transmission levels. The agency recommends people in counties with high community levels of COVID-19 take actions to reduce transmission, such as wearing a mask in indoor public spaces and on public transportation. The state's 7-day positivity rate continues to rise and is now at 8.68%, the same level it was at in late January, but far lower than the 23.06% positivity level seen at the peak of the COVID-19 surge in early January. Massachusetts reported its highest one-day COVID-19 case count last Thursday since early February. Data released from the Department of Public Health showed with 5,576 confirmed cases. Last week, levels of COVID detected in eastern Massachusetts wastewater continued to climb, suggesting no sign of a letup in COVID-19 cases. Officials at the Massachusetts Water Resource Authority say wastewater data can be an important early indicator of rising COVID-19 infections before people even begin to get tested and reports start flowing in. As more people are using at-home COVID testing kits, results have not been as accurately reported to state public health officials. This has made wastewater testing a key factor in indicating the virus's prevalence. Currently, the water levels have rebounded to where they were in late January. The city of Worcester is encouraging people to wear masks indoors and when around others because of the rising number of positive cases of COVID-19. City health officials said residents should get up to date on vaccines and boosters, avoid crowded spaces when possible, and get tested for COVID-19 when exhibiting symptoms. Since its lowest positivity rate on March 12th, Worcester's 7-day daily average of new positive COVID-19 cases has risen steadily the past 8 weeks. Last week, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention elevated Worcester County's community level to high. The state is still monitoring and reporting health trends. Yesterday, over 52,000 molecular tests were conducted and 3,948 new positive cases were reported. Currently, 825 people are hospitalized in Massachusetts and 78 are in the ICU. 10 new deaths were also reported. The town of Braintree also continues to monitor COVID data from the state. Since our last update, the town hall hasn't reported any new COVID-19 case data. The town hall website shows a total of 10,010 positive cases since the start of the pandemic. There have been no new fatalities reported in 3 weeks, keeping Braintree's total deaths at 137. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more after the break.
The COVID-19 vaccine doesn't contain the virus, so you can't get COVID from the shot. You may experience things like muscle aches, fever, or tiredness, but these are most likely signs that your body is building immunity to protect against the virus. Learn more.
Welcome back. The developer of Life Sciences Complex on Columbian Street, Banner Park Campus LLC, has made changes to its proposal, but not enough to woo opponents. The lawyer representing Banner Park, Brian Palmucci, told the planning board on Tuesday that the developer has, quote, agreed to a slightly modified plan for the development, end quote. According to Palmucci, these changes would help preserve more trees, reduce the amount of paved area, and relocate docks and mechanical equipment. Lastly, a fence will be built to screen residents of Weymouth's Tommy Marks Way from noise and lights of the complex. Weymouth residents and officials who gathered at the meeting expressed their disapproval. One Weymouth resident, Jeremiah Murphy, said he would like to see the development scaled back to reduce the impact on neighbors. Murphy also said the changes presented by the developer were minor. A long vacant Ivory Street warehouse in Braintree could be the new home of a marijuana growing, production, and research facility. Flower Express has proposed to locate the operation at 280 Ivory Street, next to the MBTA station and across from the transfer station. The town's zoning ordinances which prohibits recreational marijuana production facilities, would need to change in order for the facility to open. In a presentation to the Planning Board last week, Flower Express Chief Executive Officer Drew Ledbetter said that between commercial property taxes and the state's 3% excise tax on profits, the town stands to receive $6 million in annual revenue from the facility and would employ about 200 people. The Planning Board voted 4-1 to recommend the zoning change, with member William Grove dissenting. Board members said they want a buffer zone requirement between marijuana production operations and residential properties added to the proposal. The board's recommendation sends the proposal to the Town Council, which will refer it to the Ordinance and Rules Committee for a review. The council will hold a public hearing on the proposed zoning change with a 2/3 majority vote needed for approval. Dave & Buster's, the popular restaurant at the South Shore Plaza in Braintree, will not contest the 2-day liquor license suspension the entertainment complex received for serving intoxicated patrons. Town Clerk James Casey, the chairman of the town's license board, said, quote, "They are not going to appeal to the State Alcoholic Beverages Control Commission," end quote. The suspension will be in effect May 28th and 29th, the first 2 days of the Memorial Day long weekend. On Thursday, May 26th, you can donate food and get an ice cream cone during a food drive hosted by La Macchia Realty. From 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., the organization will be holding the Can for a Cone food drive at 222 Forbes Road next week. Those donating are asked to bring non-perishable food items such as canned soup, canned veggies, canned meats and fish, pasta, rice, or cereal. Other items such as shampoo, body wash, toothbrushes, and other personal care items may also be donated. All donations will be given to the Braintree Community Food Pantry, and ice cream will be supplied by Ellie's Treats ice cream truck. The town of Braintree wants to hear from you. As the town is still in the process of creating a 10-year master plan, they want to hear from members of the community on their hopes and visions for the future. Join Mayor Charles Kokoris and members of the Planning Department on Saturday, May 21st from 1 to 3 p.m. for the Braintree Master Plan Community Forum taking place at the Town Hall. For more information, you can visit tinyurl.com/Braintree Master Plan. Thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll be right back with more stories in the area.
Protect yourself from mosquito and tick bites. Use an EPA-approved repellent anytime you're outdoors. Spray it on your hands first, then spread it on your face, neck, arms, and legs. Learn more at mass.gov/mosquitoes and ticks.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now let's get right into more stories. A Massachusetts man who traveled to Canada has been diagnosed with the monkeypox virus, the nation's first confirmed case of the rare disease. State public health officials and the CDC confirmed this case on Wednesday and are in the process of tracking anyone who may have come in contact with the patient. Dr. Erica Shenoy, director of the Infection Control Unit at MGH, said at a news conference outside the hospital, quote, "The patient was admitted on the 12th. They were being evaluated for various symptoms. During the course of their admission, they were identified as a possible monkeypox suspect," end quote. Officials did not identify the man or say when he traveled to Canada or to what areas of the country, but the CDC did confirm that he used private transportation for the trip. The Massachusetts Department of Transportation announced that the Sumner Tunnel will close every weekend for the next 36 weeks, starting on June 10th. The closure is part of a major overhaul to the 100-year-old tunnel that is expected to last nearly 2 years. MassDOT said the project will fix a list of issues including chipped and crumbling concrete, rusted reinforcements, cracked wall panels, broken light fixtures, and deteriorating roadways. Although the Sumner will be closing on the weekends to start, the adjacent Callahan Tunnel will remain open. This means drivers heading outbound from Boston will not be impacted. When this phase of the weekend closures is complete, MassDOT said the tunnel will move into its next phase, where it will close 7 days a week for a period of 4 months to finish the work. Route detours around the closures are as follows. Drivers from East Boston and Logan Airport looking to reach downtown Boston will be rerouted to the Ted Williams Tunnel via Bennington Street and onto I-93. Drivers leaving Logan Airport seeking to reach I-93 North will follow signs to the Tobin Bridge. Across the state, milk banks that collect and distribute donated breast milk for premature babies and other babies who need specialized nutrition are now fielding extra calls. Parents with healthy but hungry babies are calling too. At Mother's Milk Bank Northeast in Newton, hundreds of bottles of donated breast milk are carefully stored in the cooler waiting to be picked up. Each 8-ounce bottle of milk, equivalent to one feeding, costs more than $14. Experts recommend talking with your pediatrician or calling a local food bank to see if they can offer some options for getting baby formula. They also recommend checking with smaller stores and pharmacies, which still may have supplies when larger stores run out. Most regular baby formulas contain the same basic ingredients and nutrients, so parents shouldn't hesitate to buy a different brand if they're having trouble finding their regular one. The federal deadline for getting a real ID is fast approaching. The deadline was pushed back twice since 2020 because of the pandemic, but standard driver's licenses or non-driver identification cards can no longer be used to fly within the U.S. or enter certain federal facilities, starting on May 3, 2023. The Registry of Motor Vehicles says if you want to obtain a real ID, make an appointment sooner rather than later. According to the Department of Homeland Security, real IDs are a more secure version of a traditional driver's license, and requiring them for certain travel establishes minimum security standards for license issuance and production. As of early May, Massachusetts had a 41% Real ID adoption rate, with over 2.3 million credentials being Real ID compliant. Check the Registry of Motor Vehicles website for details on how to get your Real ID. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more in sports and entertainment.
Mosquitoes are out. Protect yourself from mosquito bites and the illnesses they can cause, like Triple E and West Nile virus. When outdoors, use an EPA-approved repellent and wear protective clothing. Learn more at mass.gov/mosquitoes and ticks.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now here's Mike Wasil with the latest on Braintree sports.
Braintree and Weymouth here in boys volleyball, and it's Braintree with a kill to go ahead by 4 points early in the opening set, and then they get the final point as they win 25-19 in set number 1 as we move on to the second set, and Braintree denied at the net, and then the Womps not denied this time, but Weymouth able to steal the second set as they win 25-20, tying this match up at 1 set each as we move on to the third set, and it's a serving error for the Wildcats as Braintree gets the finishing touches 25-15 in the third set, and more of the same in the fourth as Weymouth with 2 hitting mistakes, and Braintree 25-19, the final score in the fourth set, winning overall here today 3-1. Lacrosse, it's Braintree and Brookline, and it's an early goal for Braintree here at home as they add to it a 2-0 start here in the opening quarter before Brookline with a quick strike, and now Braintree answering as they continue to exchange numbers here as Braintree finally going up by a couple, but it's Brookline tying it late, and then Braintree going ahead for good here in the fourth quarter as they win by 1 goal, 7-6 in a close game. Moving on to rugby as Braintree and Hanover, and it's Hanover going ahead with the opening score, and the 2-point after is converted as they lead 7-0, and it was all Hanover in this first half as they score again, getting past the Braintree defense, and a 14-0 lead, and one more here pushed across in the first half as they continue to add to it, and the Braintree defense just cannot stop Hanover at this point, and then into the second half, one more long touchdown as they score 55-0, the final score as Braintree drops this one on senior night. Moving on to baseball, it's Braintree and Brockton as Braintree had an early run scored and then a second pushed across on the RBI ground out and they would add much more here on this home run by Charon, a 3-run shot to left center field, and then Braintree with their second home run. This is an inside the park grand slam scored by Surrett as Braintree scores 4 more runs here, and they continue to add on to their lead with an 11-0 lead at this point, and 2 more runs forced in on this RBI, make it 2 RBI double to right center as Braintree scored 11 times in the inning, and then here in the 5th, the double play ball ends this game in 5 innings as Braintree with a slaughter rule victory, 13-0. Moving on to baseball later in the week, and Braintree scoring the game's first run on the wild pitch, and then a fly ball to left gets over the left fielder's head, a 2-0 lead for the Womps as the Wildcats trying to make some noise here in the inning, and DiMartino able to make a nice lunging catch. What a great play made by the Braintree center fielder. And then a sacrifice fly for Braintree makes it 3-0, and then a suicide squeeze just seconds later as the Womps make it 4-0, out to a comfortable advantage, but this ball up the middle gets under the glove of the Braintree shortstop Gorham, making it 4-1, and then a wild pitch makes it 4-2, but Braintree would not let Weymouth get any closer as this one drilled towards the gap, scoring another run, and Braintree with a 5-2 lead before this one is hammered to center field, and this time DiMartino has to watch it go out of the park, a 5-3 score, and Braintree with a big insurance run late in the game. This is in the 6th inning as this one hops the fence, and then at the end of the game, a double play ball turn as Braintree with the finishing touches on a 6-3 win. Moving on to volleyball, as Braintree and Framingham, and this one going out of bounds off of Framingham as Braintree takes the opening set 25-19 here on senior night. And here in the second set, Braintree with a block, but it goes out of bounds. And then the final touch here on Framingham as Braintree wins the first 2 sets as they try and close it out in straight sets, but it goes out of bounds, and Framingham now will get the final point here to make it a 2-1 lead for Braintree, and the Womps closing it out here at home, a 25-18 final score in the 4th set as Braintree wins 3-1 at home over Framingham.
Thanks, Mike. Now in entertainment, here are some recommendations for a night out to the theaters. First up, The Northman is an action-filled epic that follows a young Viking prince on his quest to avenge his father's murder at the hands of his uncle, who has also kidnapped the boy's mother. Now, 2 decades later, he meets Osiris, who reminds him of his vow to save his mother, kill his uncle, and avenge his father. You can watch The Northman in theaters now. Next in entertainment, for those who love the tales of young wizard Harry Potter, can now watch its prequel, Fantastic Beasts: The Secret of Dumbledore. Starring Mads Mikkelsen, Jude Law, and Eddie Redmayne, the magical film will introduce you to an array of old and new beasts as Dumbledore makes it his duty to stop dark wizards from taking control of the wizarding world. Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore is now playing in theaters. And finally, Mark Haddon's best-selling novel, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, about a 15-year-old boy with Asperger's syndrome, is coming to the Curtain Call Theater in Braintree. The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime tells the story of the aftermath when a neighborhood dog was murdered. Main character Christopher suddenly makes it his job to solve the mystery, leading to the unraveling of some of his own secrets. Curtain Call's artistic director, Tony Ruscio, says, quote, "It's a story about differences. It's a story about sameness. It's a story about acceptance. It's about you. It's about me," end quote. Performances are at 8 p.m. on May 20th and 21st and at 2 p.m. on May 22nd. You can visit curtaincallbraintree.com to purchase your tickets. That'll do it for news today. I'm Martha Konstandinidis, and thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.